Howdy, howdy, fellas. Got a World of Warships Legends match today, and the Henri IV on Shards. This is. It's not a ship you see a lot, but it did get some love in the most recent update. Yeah, so let's pause the match for a second and go take a look at the Henri. Alright, take two of this. Let's make it faster. And I changed my mic settings a little bit, so hopefully they're a little clearer of what I'm actually saying. So Henri, Henri got buffed. If I remember correctly, they shaved off like 4 seconds off the reload, which was kind of nuts. It was like a 30% reload buff. Is it nuts now? Nah. I haven't played this thing a ton. Only 5 matches. I've done all right. Not the best, not the worst. It's in a weird spot. I think there's a couple of kind of key flaws in this thing that really hold it back from being any better than it is. And let's kind of talk about that. So first things first, what's the build? I've got aiming, prop, rudder, reload. These are kind of some working with, some working against. The two biggest drawbacks that I see with this thing, first being the turret traverse. 31.7 seconds. I've got Einstein as an inspiration on this Sarika build that I've made. Yeah, I didn't invent this, but this is like, hey, we've got a reload booster. Let's use it as many times as we can. Her unique skill makes it last longer and gives you an extra charge. And then fully packed, you could go with refill because then it's like when it's active, it works even better. I don't know. I rarely get through 4 reload boosters in a match. Even with like it lasts 15 seconds, you got to get the right time to use it. 2-minute cooldown. It's like whatever, 8 minutes of time. Like, is there like if you're just spamming HE at a battleship? I don't know. I struggle to get through 4. It's happened. Maybe not on this one, more on the San Louis and Charles Martel. But anyway, so yeah, turret traverse. Whoops, turret traverse is a big drawback on this thing. It's still slow, even with Einstein. Second thing, rudder. I've got rudder on, but it's not because of this. The rudder shift on this thing isn't amazing, but it's not horrible. And then this jacks up the concealment to terrible levels. This is a battleship now. Why do I have rudder? Well, 2 of the 5 matches that I played on this thing, I played with concealment, and I got in fights. I specifically remember one was with a Wooster, I was basically nose in. He was only shooting HE, and I lost my rudder like 3 times in the same fight. Almost cost me the match. No, it wasn't even a Wooster. Was it a Wooster? I think it was the Seattle. It was a tier 8. Anyway, that just annoys me. Like, so this ship actually does have 2 flaws that are both particularly frustrating for me. I still don't really mind the ship of the times that I've played it. I've enjoyed most of the matches. So I think it's got some stuff going for it, but it has enough flaws that it's like, I think this thing could still use a little love. I would love to see them buff that turret traverse. It's basically got, kind of that not fully British battleship or Soviet level turret traverse, but it's particularly slow, and that's the case up and down the line. But this one is like next level. 240 millimeters, I believe, does overmatch the plating you'll get on Minos, Brisbane. I guess if you see a Neptune, maybe some of the Pan Asian light cruisers, but 240 guns, like this thing begs comparison to the Hindenburg. The Hindenburg has faster reload, faster turret traverse. That 26.5, that's in the realm that it's like, that's comfortable. That feels right when you play it. I don't have anything in turret traverse on the Hindenburg, and it's still significantly faster. The HE is a little bit lower, but it's got 12 barrels and faster reload. Same with the fire chance. Henri's probably a better fire starter. I didn't do the math, but they're close enough. And then the AP per shell is almost the same on the Hindenburg, but obviously 12 barrels, faster reload. Uh, it, Hindenburg, I mean, Henri is a little faster. The AA, whatever's a wash. Henri has different torps. I think the Hindenburg probably still they're not like fully standoff torpedoes. 9 kilometers, 60 knots, only 3 per side. You're not going to be depth striking anything with that or flooding the area. Like, I think these are still kind of not last resort, but you know that if sometimes they're going to impact, but most of the time that's kind of a wash. And then the Hindenburg has the 2 by, or I guess 4x4 launchers. Like that's a much heftier load. I think the Hindenburg just kind of beats the Henri. So yeah, I think this thing could maybe see a little bit more. Reload booster's fun. It's not bad. I do think the Hindenburg just kind of beats it. So let's see how we do. Hey, thanks, other me. So yeah, back to this me. Henri, we're on shards. Why am I playing the Henri? What are we doing? Yeah, we saw the build, we saw the stuff, it got buffed. I, I like the Henri fine, but for me, the way it stands, it's one of those like it's a novelty ship. Oh yeah, turn off that BA. Oh my gosh. Like, I turn off as much of that stuff as possible. They actually added the setting. I need to remember to go turn it all off. I just keep forgetting. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Henri IV. For me, this is like a novelty ship. It's a ship that I might play if I just want something a little bit different. It's not bad. I don't tend to enjoy ships that I find particularly, bad, annoying, just like ugh. It's certainly not that. It has its benefits. I'm sure it has its fans out there. And I'm probably not the best Henri player. I have seen people that particularly vibe with the French cruiser line. That shot was short. I remember when I took that one, I was like, oh, excuse me, I choked myself. I was like, oh, that was low. Yeah, you can't trust auto aim. I'm just farming down this Burgon. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm sure there are lovers of the Henri. I have definitely seen people that are just better at the French cruisers than I am. I vibe more with the Soviet and American ones for whatever reason. French ones, fine. I enjoyed the line. I did well in them. They're not my faves. They're not ones that I just like go back to now that I'm done with them most of the time, and Henri kind of fits that as well. Here I'm kind of juking and dodging. I'm mostly looking at the Soviet Russia because he does overmatch me enough from his angle. I'm worried about getting Citadel'd like through the tail into the Citadel. The Burgon, if I stay angled, I'm fine on him. He does overmatch the nose and tail. Oh, that's another thing. Shoot, I had to do 2 takes on my thing because I wasn't happy with the mic settings. I forgot to look at the armor view. That's another place where I think the Hindenburg just kind of wins. The Hindenburg does generally have better armor. They're different. There will certainly be places where the Henri might be a little more forgiving, but broadly speaking, in general, I think the Hindenburg is just better in the armor, and then combined with the kind of damage output from the guns, like, I think the Henri still in that kind of like, oh, just sweatiest, try-hardiest, is it as competitive? I think the Hindenburg's just better. It doesn't have to reload booster. Like, I think, like, I should have, no, yeah, that's exactly why I didn't use it there. I was about to say, oh no, why didn't I use it there? That's why. I thought that guy was going to get dropped on the spot. But we're just kind of farming these down, juking, dodging, using the improved acceleration with the speed, the engine boost active. That is fun to do. I don't think it does enough to elevate this ship because it's not always active, and it's still, it's not like you just can teleport around the map, so it's fine. But yeah, we're playing on shards. You can see we've kind of got an overload here at C. It's not total because we have that one battleship coming over from B. We've got the destroyer. I actually really like how these guys kind of played in these islands on our team. Like, they're kind of keeping the spotting, like just keeping enough threat there to like make sure these guys in C can't just charge through. They didn't just bail on me. I've had a fair amount of videos with this, like, always alone on the flank. This one didn't feel like that. Like, yeah, we're overloaded, but this was like, my team was in this to try to fight it, rather than just dying or just leaving. So, we're charging over here, trying to get some broadside shots with the reload boost. This is what you live for in this thing. The Brisbane slams on the brakes, but yeah, this is what we were talking about. You overmatch, but then I noticed this Hindenburg. Oh yeah, whack that thing. This is like, I should have taken the second shot on that, but then it's also, the Hindenburg is broadside. Like, I want that. I want that tasty German booty. Like, let's get in there and just, the Yamato gets it, but it's fine. You know, when you're outnumbered like this, yeah, there's no kill stealing here. We just want these things down. Um, Taking some pot shots at that Soviet Russia. I'm hoping, because the Brisbane has its crawling smoke, that he'll kind of mess up, peek out a little bit, but it looks like he's just staying in there. Again, because we overmatch him, basically if I hit him anywhere, and you're like, you know what? Let's practice that blind firing. So screw you, Brisbane. Take the Citadels. It's like, yeah, take that. That's what you get. I've, you know, hit that intentionally because I am kind of expecting possibly torpedoes from the Brisbane, possibly from the Elbing. Hindenburg wasn't in range, Khabarovsk wasn't in range, so yeah, but also shots from the Soviet Russia. So yeah, we kinda, with that one reload boost, and that is one of the things that the Henri does well, is if you can get to those positions, take advantage of that reload boost, like suddenly the enemy team lost 2 ships, to the point of, you know, the comparison begged to the Hindenburg. Hindenburg wouldn't have overmatched the Brisbane, so if he angled, it probably wouldn't have gotten that. Probably would have mulched the red Hindenburg just as much. And then I might have been able to, you know, push into the Brisbane, sonar, like, it's a wash. I think that was a particular display of what can be fun and effective about the Henri. Does that make it an amazing ship? And they're like, oh, it's so good, you should always play it. No, I don't. I don't think so, but I think that is fun. And I'm fine with that. To be super clear about that, I don't need every ship in the game to be the best. I'm fine for some to be the best for certain people and certain playstyles and what they want. And I actually enjoy that about the game. I've gone through different phases where I'm looking for different things, something different, something competitive, something fun, something both, like whatever that is. I generally don't play as just like the hardest, try to win possible. I like to win. I want to win. But if you told me, like, if you were like, you could sit and smoke 15 minutes and win every match, I don't think I would do it. Like, I just don't enjoy that. So, anyway, I'm rambling a little bit. But maybe a little bit on that point of just kind of comparing ships and like how do they work against each other. One of the reasons I actually played the Henri is I got an absolute drubbing in a match earlier in the day in the Hindenburg. I don't tend to have sub 1000 XP matches, but this was, I was like 956 or something. Highest on the team. I think the next highest had like 700 or something. I don't know. It was one of those games. And the Khabarovsk on our team was kind of doing a lot of the blaming the rest of the team, and one of the things that he blamed me for was like, oh, you lost in a Hindenburg to an Henri. Well, in my defense, it wasn't just the Henri, it was a 1v5 flank. Good sir, thank you very much. But it did make me think, like, you know what? Let's play the Henri. It got buffed, let's see how it's doing. Sure, it could do 174,000 damage, no problem. But the other part of that I wanted to touch on, I'm running out of time. It is weird to me when people feel so strongly about, like, oh, X ship beats Y other ship. I think with the right circumstances and the right captain and just the right setup, pretty much any ship in the game can beat any other ship. And that is one of the things that I like about this game, is that it's not so determinate. Like, you're in this ship, you're in that ship, you lose, you win. Like, yeah, there are matchups and it's leans one way or another, but it's not determined. Don't give up just because you see another ship. So, that's the Henri. Yeah, that's fun. I like the reload boost. So, on the whole, it's an okay ship. I could love to see them buff that turret traverse. So, GG.